everyone. Today we are going to study evolution, origin of life. Now, what is evolutionary biology? It is the study of living things as they have changed through time or evolved through time. That means living things were not present like this, but they have changed through time or evolved through time. So this is what we are going to study in evolutionary biology. The word evolution, this comes from a Latin word evoluere, which means to unroll or unfold. Let us see the various theories on origin of life. This actually is divided into two parts: the origin of earth and universe, and secondly how life originated in earth. The origin of earth and universe is widely supported by this theory called as Big Bang theory, while the origin of life there are various theories for origin of life. First one is by special creation, by spontaneous generation, by non-spontaneous generation, cosmozoic theory. So let us first study the origin of earth and then we will study the origin of life. So Big Bang theory. What is Big Bang theory? According to the Big Bang theory, the universe originated around 15 billion years ago by a huge thermonuclear explosion. This was in a point mass. The entire universe was concentrated in a point mass, and in that a huge thermonuclear explosion took place, and after that the universe expanded. When the explosion took place, the bigger things were situated nearby and the small particles after explosion flew at very large distance. In this way the entire universe was created, and this universe is expanding. It is even expanding today. So we do not know the limits of universe, but there are various galaxies which were formed. Galaxy is also known as Akash Ganga. Milky Way is our galaxy, of which solar system is a part. Milky Way is our galaxy, of which solar system is a part. So the solar system comprises of sun and the 8 planets including earth. So Milky Way galaxy is one galaxy, but there are many galaxies that are present, some of which we know, and there are many which are still unknown. The sun and the planets were formed from a spherical cloud of gases and cosmic dust called nebula. Now this is nebula. Nebula is just a spread of cosmic dust, and this happened around 4.6 billion years ago. That means the earth came into existence around 4.6 billion years ago, and the Big Bang theory took place around 15 billion years ago. Earth was at that time a molten fireball. It had very high temperature, around 4000 to 8000 degree centigrade. Now Earth started cooling in millions of years. It didn't take short time, but it took millions of years and formed layers by its own gravitation, and it was spinning, it was rotating, and at this time these were the layers that were formed. So the lithosphere was one layer which was made of heavy metals because it was heavy. The core was also formed, mantle, and the above layer was lithosphere, and there was a gaseous layer also called as atmosphere. So these were the layers particularly that were formed in earth, but everything was very hot. It did not cool very much. At that time the earth was still hot. Now why was earth hot? Because volcanic eruptions were frequently occurring at that time also, and during volcanic eruptions a lot of heat is liberated out. So this heat was making the surface very hot, but also it was liberating certain lava which was making the earth's surface solid. So the earth's surface became solid, and it was also releasing the steam, the water vapor, which was given out, and then it cooled, resulting in the rainstorms, forming the water bodies. When the steam cooled, it formed rain, and then all the water bodies were formed. That means the next layer, hydrosphere, was also formed. This is how the sun and the planets were formed gradually, and the layers of the atmosphere were already formed. And what was atmosphere containing? The gases, hydrogen, nitrogen, water vapor, and carbon dioxide. Still the earth was hot. It was not at all cool. This figure which I had drawn in three stages, this shows the condensation of solar nebula. The very first stage was nebula, and then later how it formed the sun and the planets shows the process of how condensation of solar nebula take place. What is nebula? The entire gases and all the cosmic dust etc. forms the nebula, which doesn't have any shape at that time. Now, after the formation of Earth, how did life originate? There were various theories. The first theory is origin of life by special creation. According to this theory, life is created by some supernatural force. This supernatural force is God. And this is the oldest hypothesis, and it is believed by masses. Every particular religion believes on this supernatural force which we call as God. So according to every religion, the special creation is having some acceptance, but still this particular theory was in a Christian belief. It lies on faith and spiritual beliefs, but this is based on Christian account of creation. And according to this theory, all the species were created in 6 days, as it is mentioned in Bible. Like plants were created on the 3rd day, the fish and fowl were created on the 5th day, and animals and man was created on the 6th day. So all the species were created as such. So this denies evolution, because life has not changed at all. From the very first day, everyone was present like this. So diversity is the same since creation. So every particular species that is present today has been made in those 6 days which God has made. God made everything on that on 5 days, and animals and man on the 6th day. Firstly, man was made, who was called Adam, and then Eve was made, who is a woman. Then God breathed life into them, and so came the Homo sapiens, that is human beings. The second theory for origin of life is spontaneous generation of life. This theory is also known as abiogenesis. According to this theory, life originated from non-living material. The concept was held by Greek philosophers like Thales, Plato, and even Aristotle. These were all very great philosophers, but they all believed that life has come from non-living materials. And this was experimented by von Helmont. He performed an experiment, and what did he do? He placed wheat grains and a dirty shirt, and after 21 days he found mice there. The dirty shirt and the wheat, and after 21 days obviously the animals like the rodents like mice and other maggots and insects started entering. So this was their belief that when you keep all these non-living things together, the living things can originate. This theory, von Helmont's theory of abiogenesis, was not accepted. Francisco Redi, he did an experiment. Also Spallanzani did an experiment, and these experiments were done to reject von Helmont's theory of abiogenesis. What was this experiment? These people took 3 jars, and in the 3 jars they took some cooked flesh. Why did they take cooked flesh? Because cooked flesh is pure and it does not have bacteria. It cannot be infected by bacteria, because while cooking all the microorganisms die during the process. So they took cooked flesh and kept at the bottom of the 3 jars, and they kept one of the jar open, the lid was away. The second jar was covered with a muslin cloth. There was no lid, but only the muslin cloth covered the mouth of the jar, and the third jar was covered with the lid. So what happened after few days? The one which was open, where there was no lid, the maggots and the flies and insects came inside, and they all aggregated over the cooked flesh. There was a clear entry through the jar, and therefore they all came. In the second one, through the muslin cloth, the smell of the flesh could come out. This attracted the insects, but these insects could not come inside. They only aggregated on the muslin cloth. But in the third jar, since the lid was placed, there was no smell coming out of the jar, and therefore there were no insects around. This means that if this is a non-living thing, something living should have come. So it is only the living things are found in the non-living thing when you allow entry of them. So it is not developed from the cooked flesh. So the theory was blown away by Francisco Redi and Spallanzani. So von Helmont's theory did not gain acceptance, and it is not believed. The next theory is non-spontaneous generation. This is just the opposite of abiogenesis. This theory is called as biogenesis. Bio means living, genesis means formation. Abiogenesis means without the living being. That means from non-living things, genesis, formation of living things took place. But what does this theory says? This was actually by French microbiologist Louis Pasteur, and he disapproved the theory of abiogenesis. He did not believe on what von Helmont said. Life originated only from pre-existing life. So he proved this with the help of an example. He took a round bottom flask, and this flask was having a very long neck. Now with the help of heat, he bent the neck in this manner. Now this is called as swan neck. Since this is in the form of S, it is called as swan neck. So the round bottom flask which was having this broth was actually having a bent now. Now this broth, which is very rich in minerals and nutrients and sugar, this was heated. It is so heated for long hours so that everything, the microorganisms and any sort of life that exists here should die. And after that it was allowed to cool. So when it cooled, there was no infestation of microorganisms for very long time because the neck was bent. The microorganisms could not gain entry through this bent neck. Whatever aggregated was aggregated in this bent region, but it did not enter over here. But when Louis Pasteur broke this neck, when there was clear entry, the microorganisms were seen. There were so many bacterial colonies that were growing on the broth. This proves the theory of biogenesis, that life comes from the pre-existing life and not from the non-living broth. The next theory is cosmozoic theory, and this theory is also known as theory of panspermia. According to this theory, it has a belief that life exists on other planets. So here comes now the existence of aliens. That means life is not only found on Earth now, but this theory believes that life has come from outside. That means the life exists on other planets. The Earth was hit by meteorites, and that has left the primitive life in the form of spores. Now what are spores? Spores are very small bodies which are formed during unfavorable conditions, and they germinate to produce life only during favorable conditions. So when the meteorites had hit, it was in the form of spores, and in Earth they got the favorable condition and they germinated to produce life. So this means that life has not originated on Earth. Instead, some meteor or any other extraterrestrial object brought it to the Earth. This theory gives us a belief that life has come many a times. That means spores might have come into the Earth this time, and many other planets also have the spores which may germinate not now but later. So therefore it believes on the existence of aliens also, and also that life is right now present in the form of spores in other planets which may later germinate to give life, like it has given on Earth, because Earth provided all the favorable conditions, so Earth has life today. So this is what is known as cosmozoic theory, because spores are present all over the universe in the form of spores. So these all theories which I explained today does not have strong belief or evidence to prove, and therefore these are not accepted till date. In my next video I will be dealing with Oparin and Haldane's theory, which is the modern concept of origin of life which is accepted till date. And all these names of scientists are very much required in 12th class as well as in NEET exam, and therefore you should memorize the contribution of all the scientists to these who have proposed these theories. And therefore evolution and origin of life only has many theories and the name of the scientist. So learn all of them. They are very general, and therefore you should just know the basics of it. And in my next video I'll be dealing with the biochemical origin of life. If you have any doubts, you may ask me in the comment section, and refer to the questions that I have given in the description box. Thank you.